Ladies and gentlemen, making his way into the cage inside the Brentwood Center, please welcome Maurice Collins.
With the Red Hot Chili Peppers pumping through the speakers, tonight Maurice Collins, in his own words, plain and simple, just likes punching people, but self-described wrestler and grappler, has K1 experience. This guy is a man on a mission here tonight, though, Dean.
Yeah, he's got an elevated clinch game, and like you say, the wrestling capabilities to transfer them into the MMA game. He mixes up the strikes very well, and he just loves to fight, Chris. He loves being in there, he loves performing, he loves showcasing his skills.
That's the type of thing you often look for, Dean. As a coachable fighter, you have to have a fighter who's motivated, who's passionate. And, you know, a few years of development there for the 26-year-old at MMAX Gym. I've seen him really begin to make an impression on the UK scene.
And I believe he's going to make an impression with regards to ground and pound. He's really worked on that. He's built that foundation over all the many years of training in mixed martial arts, Chris.
REECE told us that he really sees a future for himself in a series of achievements, milestones. Rock forward tonight, he said. That's just another day in the office. Here he is, Maurice Collins, ladies and gentlemen.
And ladies and gentlemen, presenting his opponent, Jake Moore.
All the way from Peterborough, Jake Moore, 23 years of age, 4'1", 5'6". Always dreamed of seeing how far he could go in this sport. Tonight, Dean, just like his opponent, he takes another step towards that goal.
He's on the correct stage to exchange ground and pound. Both these athletes are looking to go to the ground and put the ground and pound into play, Chris.
So Jake Moore really worked on his stand-up and kickboxing. Sees an opponent, through his own admission, is a tough guy, a guy who does not give up. So I love it when you got two highly touted, mentally strong individuals, Dean, and really get to find out, from a pundit's point of view, who will break first. That's what this could come down to.
Yeah, Moore's going to look to have fun in there. He's got excellent catch wrestling, and he's just working with such a dedicated coach and team. He can't see himself losing in this fight.
Jake Moore, the 23-year-old, versus REECE Collins, 26. Lots of people out tonight to support both men. Buddy Johnson gets this one rocking and rolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, rise of champion number 4 brings you three-minute rounds of amateur MMA in the bantamweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner, he stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing officially at 60.9 kilograms with 2 wins and just 2 defeats. Representing MMAX Gym from Hemel Hempstead, he is Maurice Collins. And his opponent in the red corner, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing officially at 60.6 kilograms with 2 wins, a single defeat, representing Fight Box from Peterborough, he is Jake Moore. When the action begins, your referee in charge, Mr. Daniel Mulvaheady.
The first frame between REECE Collins and Jake Moore is underway tonight in London. Into the clinch right away off the bat, Dean.
We see Collins immediately drop down for the takedown. He's looking to get his hips out, and he's looking to secure that ankle pick that's going to drag him away from the cage and look to pass straight into mount.
Jake Moore doing a great job there of trying to fight back up to his feet there. Moore in the red corner, Collins in the blue. Front headlock here for Collins. Can he get that snap? And he does.
Yeah, Collins using the snap down there to get the fight to the mat, but Moore doing a great job of defending. He's keeping his base, used his hands to get up. Now he's going to try and pop his head out of this position by threatening a double leg of his own.
He's got that guillotine anaconda locked up with that figure 4, Dean. Excellent takedown, though, from his opponent. Moore doing very well here to try and pass that guard.
And what Moore did there is he passed to the correct side, the opposite arm, the opposite choking arm of the guillotine, Chris.
And so as we see here, the battle between that choke and, of course, the pass to the opposite side to relieve that pressure, Dean.
Moore now on top He's got to pop his head out of that position, but still serve to control the head of his opponent. Oh, this guillotine's cinched up tight. He's got full guard, Chris. Collins could have the guillotine here.
And he's going for it. He's got that guard locked up as well as that arm blocked. But the hand was not connected, Dean. Close, but no cigar.
Difficult to finish due to the arm in there, Chris. Still possible, but tighter, more harder to get tight and cinch up there in that position. Collins now working off his back, looking like he's trying to get a triangle attempt here. He's underhooking the leg. He's got to be careful about doing that.
Huge shots come down. Excellent work here from both men. But it would seem to me the guard recovery was an important aspect of this exchange, Dean.
Collins did a great job of controlling the posture of Moore. He's holding the head, he's controlling the arms very well. He's getting pinned pretty good by the cage here, but he could use this opportunity to stand up, working the underhook there with his right arm.
So Collins continuing to fish for that choke, doesn't get it, shrugged off there by Moore. Moore looking to pass. Head outside, swapping to the head inside, runs the pipe, down we go.
An absolute clinic of wrestling for MMA here by Collins, doing a great job of securing that leg. He's got his head trapped, but as long as he passes to the correct side, again, the opposite arm that's choking. Moore now off his back foot, quite content, he's looking for a stand-up. There we go, pop straight to his legs. Collins needs to address the fact that he needs to secure the underhook. He's looking for the head kick, but the slip there enables Collins back on his back and Moore on top.
Moore doing very well to capitalize here, controlling now as Collins throws up the legs. This has been a very interesting exchange. Collins is going for that wrist to ankle. He's got to get that wrist real clean there, Dean. Elbow in tight for mission control.
Collins working off his back here. He could implement numerous techniques from this position.
He's swapping to the meat hook there at the end, but we will see the clock run out. That was a fast and furious round, Dean.
Back and forth action there, grappling against the cage. Collins looking for the heavy and the fast single leg. But I mean, Moore doing a great job of staying on top, keeping his base about him and staying out of that triangle attempt of Collins.
And he stayed busy, Dean. That was the key thing, wasn't it? He was in there, he dominated, controlled the position. Collins showing some great activity off his back, but Moore a step ahead most of the time.
Yeah, Moore looking to improve his position and mix up with the strikes and really not stay too content with just being on top, very active from that top position.
2 of 3 in London. Daniel Movahidi in charge. The one they call the gentleman, leading the proceedings here. Great to have you folks with us on UFC Fight Pass. Chris Hoekstra alongside D Midat. And it's right back to what we saw. Collins on his back, but a good opportunity for Moore there with a nice takedown. Nearly caught side control, but Moore very crafty.
Yeah, Moore very calm under fire. Ate a little glancing blow of a leg there on the inside, but it didn't deter him. And he really went through with that takedown. And again, he passed the opposite side of the choking arm. Very key. And just thinking 2 spaces ahead in order for him to gain a more dominant position from the top.
And Collins thought about that meat hook, but he aborted. Tough to play high guard when you're up against the wire, Dean.
Yeah, the cage here serves to really trap Collins up against the cage. And if you can see there, Moore's using his head as almost like an aiming tool to fire those strikes over the top of it.
Again, going back to that meat hook, swapping back to mission control. Good stuff. I mean, it can at least mitigate the damage from ground and pound. We knew that Moore was going to try to utilize that wrestling and ground and pound. That signature style of Jake Moore has been impressive.
Moore now on top. He's got to be careful about spinning around to the back like that without clearing the arm of Collins. Collins now turning it off against the cage, looking for the knees to soften him up. Going to switch this to the single leg.
Yeah, he's going head inside there. But Moore is a very difficult guy to get underneath, Dean.
Yeah, Moore does a great job of hand fighting with the head, trying to stuff the head now, but Collins read that and he turned it into an ankle pick. Now what he's got to do is pull the hips away from the cage to enable him to get into a better position, side control, perhaps even the mount.
And I love how Moore actually sensed a lull in the action. Asked his corner how much time I got, he nods, all good, turns it on and gets on top again. That is beautiful to see.
Moore is eating these punches and kicks and indeed knees. He ate a knee there up like lunch and still progressed with the trajectory of his game plan in this fight, thus ending up on top. Now, Collins needs to really think about being active from this guard. He needs to move his hips, threaten arm bars.
Active guard here again, though. Collins is looking for something, but Moore knows when to disconnect, knows when to press forward. It's not necessarily that he's actually seeing this, Dean. He's actually feeling this in these grappling exchanges.
Moore's giving Collins no room to breathe. He's really keeping that distance close, keeping the pressure heavy and constant. And Collins is really finding it hard to find a little space. I mean, just like that, as you see Moore spend straight round to take the mount, he's just giving him no space to operate, Chris.
Yeah, he thought about that mounted triangle for a second, but this has been a good reversal of fortunes for Maurice Collins. Just a few seconds to go, and he dumps him down. Great work there from Maurice Collins. What a fight. What a dog fight, Dean. This has been a heartfelt performance from both individuals, but the athleticism of both guys really going up a notch every time. They're really bringing out the best of each other.
The grit and the determination with the takedown attempts and maintaining positions is really something to be watched here, but I'm seeing Jake Moore utilize this better than Collins. Collins is doing a great job of tying up the legs, but he tends to put his head down too low, which in turn Moore stuffs down and gets his legs out of that position. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth about initiating fakes and feigns and setting up strikes with the fake of the takedowns. Let's see if these athletes have listened to their corners.
And of course, for Moore, it was all about getting that one where he had it before. In the second, he does so successfully. I think Collins also wouldn't mind being on top, as you saw at the end of the second. So, but it's Moore who's able to get things going first here. And he's on top again here. Collins working off his back.
Yeah, Moore's constant pressure with the hips there. You can see Collins is sensing that. He's trying to kick the hips back, but I mean, like Moore's attached to an elastic band, he springs straight back with the hip pressure, and now he's looking to do ground and pound damage.
Moore with an excellent float here. And this is what we said, you know, Collins was doing very well to try and force his way down into those positions, but he just cannot get underneath the hips of Moore.
Collins has got to be careful about trapping his own arm underneath the left leg there of Moore. He needs to protect the head, look for the underhooks, and use the cage to stand up.
Yeah, deep half guard is an awesome position, but risky in mixed martial arts.
And also here you can see where Collins would utilize the sweep from the deep half guard. The cage is there, which is stopping him, so he needs to get out of this position.
Good control here, again from Jake Moore, who continues to ride and float. This is that kind of folk style of wrestling that we often see. It's not necessarily being able to take your opponent down. It's not necessarily being able to dominate the clinch. It's when you are on top and throwing down punches to suffocate the man in the ring who is your adversary.
Moore doing a great job of controlling the left arm of Collins. He's reaching around and just pinning the wrist. And usually that would open you up to get swept, but the cage is there. And Moore's doing a great job of utilizing the cage to his benefit.
And these little shots coming in are not necessarily fight-ending, but they start to open up positions. And that is exactly what is on Jake Moore's mind right now. 60 seconds to go here, folks. Awesome action all night long at Brad Pickett's Rise of Champions. What a night it has been for Collins and Moore, who continue to put on a series of breathtaking wrestling exchanges.
Collins now on the offensive, looking to cinch up the arms there, firing the knee in for good measure. He's got to be careful of these takedowns, though.
Inside trip to a double leg. Can he get it? Collins is going for it here, but Moore very committed indeed.
Moore again with the pressure. He's just constantly stuck to Collins. Doesn't give him any room to maneuver. And Collins is just playing a game of catch-up. He needs to improve his position. And Moore is just further advancing. Could be looking for the modified guillotine here, Chris.
Collins is going for it. He's got that neck locked up. This could be good, Dean. Yeah, it's a Hail Mary. It's a last chance submission.
And that's what he needs, Chris. He needs to go for this submission, go for the finish, because he arguably could be behind on the scorecards, looking to get to full guard. This looks very tight, Chris.
That is it. The end of the round. Both men go the distance. Collins and Moore certainly putting in an exciting 3 hard rounds tonight, Dean.
Yeah, Collins reading where he would kind of end up, which we saw throughout the fight, is up against the cage. So he really kind of modified his submission game when we saw in that modification of the guillotine attempt there at the end of the round. But I mean, Collins forced to play catch up with that constant pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the ROC cage, after 3 rounds, we go to our judges' scorecards. Judge 1 scores about 30-27 to REECE. Judge 2 scores about 30-27 to Jake. And Judge 3 scores about 29-28 to your winner by split decision, REECE Collins.